Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
If you hadn't had a chance to meet, this is Congressman Luján, and he's very interested in renewable energy and climate issues. And so I'm going to turn it over to the Congressman. He wants to hear from students. He wants to hear what you're thinking about, what needs to be done. So,
yeah, I would say more than me, maybe making a presentation. I'd love for the questions to drive the conversation this morning. We're working on different pieces of legislation to provide more support to community colleges across the country to support programs like the ones that we had a chance to tour today. So whether we're talking about more support for concentrated solar, distributed generation, what's happening with hydroponic efforts, maximizing production in smaller areas, taking advantage of our climate zones and what we can do with a better efficiency when it comes to use of water and all the rest, right? How we build, how we work together, how we integrate the use of technology in all those spaces, the importance of the work with the integration from the welding programs to the makerspace to the growing programs to solar, right? This all comes together, and policy conversations have a big part of this. So that's where I was hoping we could have a little bit of a conversation today and see how we might be able to work together, share some ideas, and use this to start to foster a relationship with all of us, and really encourage you to keep an eye on the policy and what decisions your elected officials are making on your behalf, because it impacts the degree programs that you're entering, the careers that you'll be a part of, whether it's building, it's solar, it's renewables, it's climate, it's support from NOAA, whatever it may be, right? It all comes together. And so that's what I was hoping for today.
anybody got a question or want to share? I mean, also you can even just share why you're studying what you're studying, and that could lead to some questions. So,
Can I get you guys, the students, to introduce
Introduce
yourselves?
yourself, what you're
Variety
taking,
of-
yeah.
Some of our students are veterans, some of them have come here from a long ways away to study
yes.
at our elite programs. So
why don't you do a quick introduction and tell us what you know, what
who you
you're
are, what
studying.
you do.
All right, so my name is Jeremiah Starr. I'm the lead lab technician here in the Biofuels Lab. I'm from the Pueblos of Santo Domingo and Jemez.
You graduating in May?
I'll be graduating in the fall. Hopefully I'll be walking out with an associate's in biofuels and associates in greenhouse management. Yeah, and
Jeremiah and a couple other people are doing some research, and they're getting paid for it from the school.
Oh, very good.
yeah, so we're doing a data collection through an EPSCOR grant that we got, and what we're doing is we're collecting different data to, how do I say this? Sorry, I'm nervous.
We're all locals.
Yeah.
Water characterization.
Yeah, so
Water characterization.
collecting data points. So to see what's growing in the water, we can take these data probes anywhere, different ponds, different lakes, different growing systems.
Yeah.
So we have different growing systems here that we're going to be monitoring the water, seeing what algae growing, what nutrients they're intaking, how much light's penetrating through the actual water, salinity, and hopefully we'll create a baseline for any other industry or schools that want to get into this type of stuff, or create a baseline for them. And yeah, so that's a little bit of things we're working on here.
Very good. So I'm from Nambe as well. So home for me, I grew up in a small community by the name of Nambe, which is about 20 miles north of the city of Santa Fe. Went to the local high school there, and as well. So just see, I'm a local guy as well, man. Yeah.
I'm Martin. I'm a Navy veteran. I moved here from San Diego specifically for this program. It's one of the best in the nation. It probably is the best. And so I'm fascinated in alternative energy and just doing things in a carbon neutral way. It's just it's interesting developing technology, and has a lot of room for growth. And I hope that that gets nurtured both from the top down and from the bottom up. So.
Appreciate that. Well, thanks for coming out. One thing that we're working on with one of the strong veteran student groups that we have here at Santa Fe Community College is some of the students approached me, some of the veterans, a few years ago with some policy, because there were concerns that the federal minimum wage did not match what we could do with a work study here, basically because we're in Santa Fe. And so we're working to see what we can do to adjust that, and especially with the veterans here out of Santa Fe, the community college have been leading that effort, and we've because of that, we've launched legislation. We hope to get some more support. So hopefully it'll make a difference for everyone. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Cameron Bailey. I've been here for 6 years. 6 years in Santa Fe. I'm originally up from Quebec, Canada, which is actually the Texas part of Canada. They're really trying to separate us out, but you know. So I came down here out of slight unfortunate economic circumstances. My parents didn't lose their jobs, but my dad was offered places in 2 different cities he did not want to go. I came here instead, and while I was taking school here, I had noticed in that there was something called alternative fuels, and I had noticed, and I very much, you know, climate change, bigger problem than a whole lot of people are willing to admit. Ocean acidification, all that wonderful jazz, and so I don't want to contribute any more to the carbon footprint than we already have. So what better way to do that than to make the biggest use of fuel throughout the nation carbon neutral? You know, cars. Cars is easy, planes a little bit more tricky, and tankers, well, good luck with that.
Thanks for being here as well. Yeah.
Hi, thank you for coming. I'm
Yes,
Martin Guy. I'm a service leader in the communities in which I live, work, and attend college. I'm a member of Chainbreaker and have been for over 3 years, and we work on economic, environmental equity throughout the city. We also, through here and also there, we're trying to work with the city of Santa Fe on carbon neutral. I guess it's by 2040 they want to be. So some of our projects here, I have a water treatment certificate, biofuel certificate, working on aquaponics greenhouse certificate. I graduated in May with an associate's in water treatment. I'm a student ambassador here at the college. I wear a lot of hats. I do a little bit of everything, and we're definitely I'm on that EP score. I was one of the persons granted that grant to work on that EP score project. So that's all I have.
Good to meet you, Matt. Thanks for your work, sir.
You're welcome.
I'm Jeremiah Cabeza de Vaca. I'm in the solar energy program, so studying a lot of photovoltaics, that kind of thing, among others. It's a pretty varied program around here. I'm from Las Vegas, New Mexico, and every day I drive here to go to classes, so it's an hour drive here, hour drive back. And I'm finding that I'm enjoying my time here more than being in Las Vegas, just because there's a lot more activity regarding solar energy in this part of the state as opposed to more northerly. I've had a long career in graphic design up till this point, and found that there aren't really any jobs in graphic design here in the state. And so that influenced my decision to come back to school. And then I found that there's almost no funding for continuing students like me to actually stay in school. So I'm having to do things like take out huge student loans, things of this nature, to be able to go to school and learn what I need to know in order to join the workforce again. At my age, I'm 48, and so I'm pushing my age limit here a little bit, because by the time I get out of school and do the things I want to do, I'm kind of getting close to retirement. I mean, I'm not the only one, I'm sure, but and that's my perspective. So that's why I'm kind of in school again. That's why I'm here.
Let me go back and talk to the team and see what can be done with, returning students as well, and see what can be done there, especially with some of the responsibilities that we do have with the state of the economy in so many parts of America, to be able to help in that area, and especially as we're seeing modernization and innovation come in with robotics and what that's meaning to displacing some people as well, right? We have to make sure we have programs and support systems to be able to come back in and provide that support. So I'll go back and talk to the team and see what we can come up with in that space. I was a Highlands guy myself, so maybe there's an opportunity to take some more solar back up to Vegas and get some stuff up there.
Highlands or Luna doesn't do anything
Yeah.
with solar.
Well, you can get it. Maybe we can get some programs, start building up there, right? And
Maybe.
get some integration. We should chat about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for your work.
Sure.
I'm actually a graduate of this program early on, so I am a student, but I'm also an instructor here that's directing the program now, and I'm really grateful for the community that we built here under the leadership of Randy. And Randy's been quite humble. I think he's won 5 awards this year, national, local climate change awards, sustainability awards.
We have won awards.
We
have won.
But it's a pleasure to have you back in the lab, and as you know, this is the future generation right here that's going to pilot the ship, so.
All set. All set.
Let me start here.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I originally came to school for culinary arts. I didn't really know what I was doing, and then we took a tour, and Luke actually showed us the greenhouse. And I went home and I dropped all of my classes and I signed up for the greenhouse classes.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's incredible, this program. And every day I learn more about the algae programs, and there's just so much so many opportunities here at this school that we can take advantage of.
Where are you from?
I'm from San Diego.
All right.
I went to high school in Pulaski.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah.
All right.
I had friends from Longit.
That's still home for me.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Mustafa Idrissa, from West Africa, Niger. I lived in Washington, D.C. for 9 years. I moved to San Diego 7 months ago because it's dry, similar to my climate. So my goal is to learn everything about this program, what you do here, and then take it back to my people. But I also want to be part of the change here in San Diego, help the local people and get the experience hands-on and then take it back home. So you see, the global warming, like I said, global warming, it's not like one country causing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like places like Africa, where they don't have an existing system. In the US, you're trying to replace something. We don't have a system. So we have an opportunity to do it right the first time.
Yeah.
So I think we should, help the African countries not to do it the wrong way. Do it the right way the first time. We have a big opportunity. There's a lot of money that goes into Africa, through the USDA, United Nations, but it's not being spent wisely. It's a lot of cash, there's no result. So we need a different approach, like people who will go with the knowledge, not just the cash, because the cash is not making it to the poor people. They're not getting the money, just staying with the top, the leadership. So I want to take this knowledge and go directly to the local people and say, look, this is how you can do it, and this is how you can feed yourself. And I believe I can do it, with the help of other people, of course, not by myself. But that's the approach we need.
Thank you for your commitment, for your passion.
I'm Dylan Anderson. I'm from Texas. I'm a medical cannabis producer for the state of New Mexico. I'm here seeking my degree in controlled environment agriculture and my certificate in greenhouse management operations. Biggest reason is just because with the new wave of cannabis, new expectations, it's more professionalism. It's better to have a degree with the experience as well. So I think it's worthwhile to put my time in here for the education as well, one-on-one. So.
How long have you been in New Mexico?
For 4 years, but I've had family up in Eagles Nest for about 40 or 50 years.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's that way as well. Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
My name is Munanya Nabingana. I'm from Botswana in Southern Africa, a country that is almost the size of Texas and similar to Santa Fe in terms of climatic conditions. I have a Master's of Science degree in Agricultural Economics from University of North Carolina, and I studied also in University of Minnesota. That's where I did my undergraduate. So basically, agriculture has been, my passion, and that's what I have pursued for more than 20 years in the public service, like most of us. So I have retired from the public service now, and I'm still driving my passion. So I got interested in coming here because I think that if we have to perpetuate the survival of humanity, we need to look at sustainable methods that we can use to produce food, because the population is still increasing globally, and it has to be fed. But where are the alternatives that needs to be looked at? I think that in the area of biofuels, in the area of renewable resources, and that is what has brought me here, because this institution has a model that is sustainable in terms of structure, because it offers courses in greenhouse management, hydroponics and aquaponics, and it combines that with algae-based and biofuel platforms, as well as solar energy. So that kind of model works in terms of sustainability. So I'm here to pick up the pieces on areas of production systems that are sustainable, that I can use for my passion, and also for educating folks that at home, because that's very, very important for me. So I will be graduating in the fall in the area of greenhouse management, which will later on called controlled environment in agriculture. I'll have an associate degree. Just sharing on what I have so far. I think that is what makes me. This is an institution that has cutting edge technology. It's small, but it has a lot to offer, locally and globally. So I think that has to be exploited by this institution if we have to change, the course of agriculture.
Well said. Thank you.
I think Alan's the only person who's ever told me he couldn't turn in his homework because elephants got in his fields.
So the elephant ate homework? I'm A.B. Torres. I'm also one of the veterans that brought the only $7 for work study for veterans. It's not very fair to us, I think. I work with Greg downstairs also. Graduated from the greenhouse management course. I'll be graduating this May from the biofuels course. And just to caveat what Bengana said here, all this together I think works really great, and with all these instructors here that are very enthusiastic and show us how to do this in a workman's manner, I think it's very beneficial to all of us. And I got into this also for reduce the carbon footprint, and I also didn't want to go work for the labs after being in buildings without windows for 15 years. I wanted to enjoy the New Mexico weather when I moved back. And before I get in trouble, I just want to let you know my in-laws told me to tell you hi. Sipping their Linda Rougemont from Pecos. I'm good for the weekend now.
Give them my best, give them my blessings, please.
Okay.
Yeah, and my gratitude. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. Guys? Yep.
Yes, well, my name is Frank Trujillo. I'm here from Santa Fe. I'm in the welding program. I plan on graduating in the fall. I have a couple of classes in June and July. I recently did a skills welding competition where I did a welding sculpture. I ended up taking first. So
I heard about you, yeah.
So I get to go to Louisville, Kentucky in the end of June. So I'm really excited just to see where that takes me. My dad's a contractor. I like welding, so I like to combine things and build things and see where everything goes from there. And I love the program. Good instructor. He'll push you to your limits to help you succeed and be a better person. I enjoyed every moment of it. So
Congratulations. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
My name is Esteban Ortega. I'm taking the welding program. I graduate in July with an AA in welding technology. And the next couple months, I'm going to be starting a small business for water jet cutting and fabrication. So hopefully to bring more industrial back to San Diego.
Right on. Thank you. Where are you from?
I'm from here.
All right.
My name is Patrick Weil. I'm from Albuquerque originally. I got into welding as kind of a way to express my creativity and make a good living in doing such. And after I graduate here in May, I'm going to be headed into the UA 412 as a pipe welder and pipe fitter. And I think what's interesting about us as welders is that we actually build a lot of the stuff that everybody else is going to use. And we've taken on projects for different departments within this community college. I think you guys got to
I just came out of one, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's been a great experience here, you know, going through the program and just realizing the importance of what we do because, you know, people's lives depend on the quality of our welds when it comes down to it. And to have the quality of instruction that we're receiving is a major thing. And to put Santa Fe on the map as a school that can compete with CNN, for example, or something like that.
Well said.
I'm Dan Southwick, originally from the East Coast, Maryland and Maine. Did a little less than a decade in the military, that's how I ended up here. Got out, needed to do something, ended up here in the welding program. Been here about 8 months. I'll be graduating and going to work for the local 412 as well at the end of the summer semester. Don't really have a whole lot to say.
What part of Maine? Northern part or?
Southern.
Southern, all right.
Maine, yeah. Around Portland.
Yeah.
Portland area.
All right, beautiful country, man.
Yeah,
It's nice up that way. Well, look, I mean, with all the students, with all the work that you're doing, first off, thank you for making a difference. And I can hear all the passions of what the outcomes are, of what the goals that you have to use your skill sets to make a difference in our communities, make a difference in the communities that you were born and raised in, and solving big issues. My dad was an iron worker, as some of you guys may know. We had a roof over our head, and our family was provided for because of Dad's skill set. He worked at Los Alamos National Laboratories as well. My mom retired from the local school district in Powhatan after 33 years of service there. You know, the passions that I have with our little small parcel at home as well is what can I do to make a difference, you know, with not only my day-to-day life, but also from a policy perspective as your U.S. representative. And that's why some of the legislation that we've authored, that we reintroduced this week, some of it is new, is to have clean energy target goals of 50% cleaner energy generation in the country by 2030. I was part of an initiative to increase New Mexico's renewable portfolio standard to get more generation from wind and solar, to require not just concentrated solar and concentrated wind, but also distributed generation, rooftop solar as well as part of the mix with all that we're working on. My passions at home as well as my team will tell you, when I'm not on the road and I get a few hours at home, I'm always experimenting with our garden boxes and growing boxes and drip systems. And now that I took some photos of this greenhouse, I need to go home and integrate some vertical growing and see what I can do. So if you guys see me lingering around here, it's not because I'm enrolled in the class necessarily. It's just I'm trying to get some inexpensive tips. You know, I'll take that however I can get it from you guys and from the teams, from all of the students here and from the faculty. Just know that we have to do this together, right? As you said, the systems that we depend on associated to move the grid, to the support systems for some of the advanced growing techniques. We need that fabrication to make it work and to hold it and stick it together. I appreciate the artistic talents with your seams because mine don't look like anything that you would put on a photo or that you would display to anyone, right? If those of you that are familiar with northern New Mexico, my seams look like the road to Chimayo, which is a traverse of integration that goes up with elevations in between. So I'm definitely wasting what I'm doing on the weld, so maybe I need to come in and learn how to make that go a little further as well with those seams. But everything that Dad taught me how to put together is still holding. It's not pretty, but it's still standing. And so from a policy perspective, I just want to encourage you, not only with student loan debt that we're talking about today, and why I want to encourage you not just to pay attention to policy here with the board at Santa Fe Community College. Get involved with that process, get to know your board members, share those ideas with the faculty and with the president that you see happening around you with suggestions to make things better. The same thing with your county commissioners, your city council leadership, your mayors, your state representatives, senators, your governor, your U.S. representatives, U.S. senators, and even the president. Because policy decisions that are being made every day are impacting you. Right now, from a renewables perspective, we're seeing the peel back of initiatives that were put in place under the previous administration that could change the trajectory of the United States over the next 4 years. Not just with our involvement domestically, but even with the Paris Accords, of what this means around the world as a global issue that's impacting us. Student loan debt, there was a repeal of a rule that was put in place under the previous administration this last week that makes it harder for students to pay back their loans because of predatory practices with some of the folks that are lending money in the industry. These things matter. Funding at the state level. You know, it turns out that we need budgets to keep our colleges running. And so if you're not happy that there's not a budget in place right now, call up your state representative, call up your senator, visit with your governor, send a letter in, an email. It turns out that even some elected leaders use Twitter. So, you know, you might be able to use that as a means to communicate with everyone, including the president. Get involved, don't give up on this. I would say that in a process and in a democracy, it's delicate. But the only way it works is if you use your voices. Whatever your philosophical beliefs are, whatever policies you support or don't support, make sure that you get involved with it. Don't let things go by that you're unhappy with, and things that you support, don't let them go by without lending your support. Because in the end, we're all connected. And from what I'm hearing today, we all have the same goals to make things better. And I just can't say thanks enough to what you're doing day in and day out, to the leadership, Randy, that you bring every day, Kathy, to you and to the other board members, the faculty that commit themselves, the investments with technology. It's incredible to see what Santa Fe Community College has built. Some of you may know my dad helped carry the legislation and was one of the authors of the legislation that brought us Santa Fe Community College.
And it passed by one vote.
Passed by one vote. You can imagine that when this investment was being fought for, and it took people coming together from around the state, the most important part of that was active citizens. Each and every one of you that lent your voices that brought this to fruition. And it's only improved year after year. And now when students are coming from around the world, from down the street, from up the road, you can see what difference it's making. So just thank you all for what you're doing and for making a difference here at the college, and look forward to learning from you and being supportive of the businesses that you launch. Put people to work. That's what we need in New Mexico, that's what we need in America and around the world. So thanks for what you're doing, Randy.
Well, thank you, Congressman Luján. Just in case you don't know her, Kathy Keys is the chair of our board, so follow up on what the congressman said in terms of talking to your leaders. It's great to hear from all of you. Most of you I've had a chance to meet, but your passion, what you're doing, what we're trying to do at the college, but without the help of people like Congressman Luján, some of the bills he's trying to carry, you know, we've got this started, but these technologies change every day. We have to keep up with changing technology, so he's got bills that could help us with that, with existing programs as well as new programs. Trying to help you stay in school, either through loans that are more affordable or through other sources of funding is really important. So, you know, sharing with him, he hears about this, but hearing it straight from the people who need it the most is the most meaningful. So once again, Congressman, thank you and your staff.
And look, as you have those legislative ideas, share them with us. The Veterans Bill is an example of where we're getting more and more support every year. National organizations are now helping us get more support for that particular bill. Ideas come from what you interact and see in your day-to-day lives. Share those ideas with us and let's foster them together and make them happen. So just thanks again for your commitment, everyone, and I'm sorry to pull you from your class responsibilities. I hope I didn't delay your day too much, but I really wanted to come in to get a chance to say thank you, hello, share some ideas with you, get some ideas, and make sure that you all know that we're on the same team here. So let's just
watch out for him. He's going to come in his casual clothes and pretend to be a student someday.
I don't know if you visited the welding department yet, but this year we also managed to establish a chapter of the American Welding Society, and we have a lot of T-shirts, and we'll be happy to do
I'll make sure I get in there. I'll have to earn it though, man. So, you know, you guys, even if it's cleanup, so you guys don't have to put a welder in my hand. Even if I got to sweep a little bit to earn my keep, I'll do it.
We'll stop,
Appreciate
we'll
that.
stop there on the way out.
Yeah.
Go that way.
We didn't stop by this year, but my last visit here, it was one of the important stops that I went in, and we actually had someone in there that was doing some work and showing off a little bit. It was good to see. Yeah.
Well, I drew the t-shirt, so.
All right. Thanks, man.